the odds that Marco Rubio can take it from Donald Trump and get in the front lead? What do you think?
I have no idea what the odds are, but, you know, obviously Donald Trump is doing well. There's 65% of all the delegates coming right now in March, and we're going to have to wait and see. But, you know, my job, as you know, Maria, and people have heard me say this all the time, is we're here building an infrastructure, and when we get a nominee, that nominee is going to join the Republican Party, and we're going to go out and win a general election, and that's what's happening.
And you know, I mean, I guess the debate is, can Donald Trump win a general election? I mean, people are not sure if he's going to be able to beat Hillary, and there's a debate about whether Marco Rubio can do it instead of Trump. That's why I ask you.
Well, yeah, no, I understand. I think any one of our candidates can beat Hillary Clinton. I mean, just look at where she's at. I mean, she's completely in the ditch. Every day there's a story regarding her emails. Just yesterday, I think a judge, and I had a little stuff going on yesterday with the caucus, but yeah, a judge is continuing a case. You know, if the case had no merit and it was a joke and just some sort of State Department argument, the judge wouldn't let a case go forward. I was a litigator for 14 years. That judges don't let junk move forward, especially junk that's on the front page of the Washington Post and the New York Times. It is not junk. It is real, and she's in trouble. So, you know, look, we can beat her. We have to do really well as a party, and we have to do better than we did in 2012.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's true. Yesterday, a judge says, look, her aide should be testifying about the reasons behind the email server. And we know that when people look at Hillary Clinton, they question her trustworthiness. So right there, you know, it has impacted. All of these stories has impacted her. Yes?
Of course. I mean, her numbers are sunk. And when people, and it's different than saying, you know, I don't like this person's policies, or I think this person uses a tone I don't like. You know, when someone says, I don't like you, I don't trust you, that is a bad place to be for a candidate. It is not, it's the worst place to be. That's where Hillary Clinton is. So, yeah, we've got drama. We've got some intrigue going on in our party. But, you know, that drama and intrigue is nothing compared to the FBI interviewing under oath half of your campaign staff. So, you know, look, you put it in perspective, I think we're doing great. Our party's doing much better than the DNC. And there's no reporter out there in America that thinks the DNC is doing better than the RNC. So we're ready. We just have to get our nominee and get moving.
Mr. Chairman, what about the possibility of a brokered convention? I mean, how are you planning to deal with this as we approach the convention?
Well, I mean, obviously, that's something that would be, I think, something far down the line from where we are today. But we'd be ready for anything. I think it's highly unlikely, just like I've always said. You can go back, you know, 2 years, I've been saying it's probably not going to happen. But if it did, we'd be ready. We're ready just simply by the fact that, obviously, we're preparing for the convention right now. I was general counsel of the RNC for 2 years before. I've been chairman for 6, which is unheard of. There's no one that knows more about conventions, our rules, delegate allocation than I do, and we're ready.
And I think there's very few people who know more about what the voter wants, what the typical GOP voter or viewer wants from their candidate. So then let me ask you this. When you see what has happened to the voter out there, the consumer out there, that they're enraged, they're upset that their wages haven't moved, they're upset that they're not feeling an economic recovery, they're worried about national security, does the GOP need to change? I mean, knowing that Donald Trump has tapped into this frustration and tapped into this anger, how will the GOP evolve differently given what you're hearing from voters today?
I don't think it's not the matter of the GOP evolving. These candidates are running for the nomination of the GOP. I mean, they're running in our party, and they're voting in our party. I think generally people are upset on both parties, just any party, people just generally, that number one, things haven't been moving quick enough in this country in the right direction. The promises of Barack Obama on the Democrat side are frustrating the Democrats because things aren't better. They're not better in Hispanic communities and black communities. Women aren't better off with all the promises of Barack Obama. So you have both, you know, parties and everyone in between. They're just frustrated, at least in large part, and that's what's happening. But one thing to keep in mind, these candidates are competing to join the Republican Party. I think everyone's kind of forgetting what's happening. We have candidates that are competing with each other to become the nominee of our party. So one of them will be joining our party in Cleveland. We're not competing to join someone else. They're competing to come this way.
Right.
And that is what's happening. And we will have a nominee soon.
What are you expecting from Super Tuesday? I mean, I have to expect that after Super Tuesday, we'll have a pretty clear idea who the nominee is, correct?
Well, I mean, there's elections on March 8th, there's March 15th, there's March 22nd. Look, I don't know how fast the delegate allocation process is going to fall, but it's pretty easy to do a model and plug in percentages and run them through next week, the week after, and the week after that, and you can see, based on the models, how quickly those delegates are going to fall. By March 15th, you know, we're going to have a few winner-take-all primaries where candidates get all of the delegates, kind of like what happened in South Carolina. I think that'll speed up the process. So my job is to wait and see and be as patient and steady and open-minded as possible. And that's what I try to do every day.
You mentioned the delegates. I got to get your take on the superdelegate controversy going on in the Democratic Party. Yeah. All of a sudden, Hillary has more than 350 superdelegates, even though Bernie Sanders was beating her for the popular vote.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of what reaction we'd get in the Republican Party if we had a slew of superdelegates in our back pockets. It certainly doesn't make for, I think, a fair process. And obviously, giving our party an opportunity to voice their opinion purely, as best as we can, is what we try to do. But what the Democrats have done is just shameful. And I can't imagine their grassroots on the other side being happy or content with a party that jams them up with sort of just whoever the folks at the top think need to be the nominee, but that's what they're getting. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the average viewer or voter out there, as you said, is frustrated and angered by a number of things. What do you think is the #1 issue at this point? Keeps going back and forth, national security, economy. What do you think voters want to hear from the candidate?
I think what voters want to hear is that someone is going to go to Washington and provide a clear, steady, strong stand in getting our economy and our country on the right track, both here at home and abroad. And you know, it is a mood that people are wanting to see happen quickly. And I can't blame them. I think that obviously people are frustrated and nothing's getting done, but that's what happens with factional government in this country, and that's what happens when you have Democrats controlling one branch and Republicans controlling another. But people want things to move, and I get that.
Mr. Chairman, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.